global markets face several headwinds at this time, pushing investors to adjust their portfolios. Uchenna Minnis is the managing partner at Howard Minnis Asset Management, and he's joining me to discuss the latest. Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening to you. Deutsche Bank CEO says inflation is the biggest poison for the global economy. Do you agree with that?
I completely agree, and this inflation is the one that has reared its ugly head on the back of an aggressive accommodative monetary policy following the pandemic, and I think we are at this point where it's already very, very significantly damaging, and now central bankers now need to start adjusting to just mop up the excesses, and that's what we're dealing with now. The inflationary pressure from a global standpoint is really, really pushing down significant downside risk in the markets and the economy at large.
Okay, so for the markets, what are the biggest downside risks right now?
I mean, it's clear we're dealing with disinflationary pressure, as we've earlier mentioned, and now we have to deal with energy crisis on the back of the Russia-Ukraine war, and that is quite significant, given the fact that Russia is a major player in terms of energy production, and we're currently seeing it even here in the country, how that has sort of affected prices of our petroleum products, and this is widespread, really, and on the basis of that, this continues to affect that baseline inflationary pressure on the back of energy usage across the economy, really, and you have a combination of that, and also you're dealing with some sort of consortium of global central bank tightening just to mop up on the excesses that are on the back of that accommodative monetary policy. So you have this plethora of downside headwind risk, really, that would continue to affect the market, and that's what we're dealing with, Rogers.
All right. Are there any available risk mitigation tools that central banks can deploy, and how quickly should this happen?
I mean, where they are, they're right currently in a precarious position right now, and I mean, they have to either continue to take care of these excesses and continue to ease a monetary policy stance, basically, but that's not going to happen, because right now the inflationary pressure has turned up to be something somewhat quite significant and has to be dealt with. So until we get to see maybe some sort of aggressive downside in the market where people will probably start going, maybe we'll start experiencing bank runs, and we are experiencing liquidity dryness, maybe then the Federal Reserve and other counterparty central bank might not look to maybe slow down the way they are tightening their monetary policy stance at the moment. But right now, the elephant in the room is inflation, and everybody needs to deal with it first before anything else.
All right. And how much impact would emerging markets, or rather emerging and frontier markets like in Africa, would take from the gathering of these headwinds?
I mean, we're already feeling it. I mean, the US dollar is trading currently at almost a 12-year high at the moment, and that translates to how frontier markets and emerging markets are positioned, given the fact that our debts are significantly in foreign currency, the USD, and that is sort of affecting, our own purchasing power, really, and also we spend higher cost in servicing this debt. So it's never a good thing for us in that regards, and we'll continue to be the guys or the countries or the economies that are the short end of the stick. It's never going to be that easy peasy for us on this side of the eye or the equator.
How should investors position their asset classes and portfolios right now, and with what kind of outlook?
I mean, it's clear. It's just cash is king right now, and cash equivalents, really, because what I envisage is coming is quite going to really hit everywhere and everything at the same time. It's been a long time coming. The pandemic sort of gave an excuse of these excesses that we're seeing currently in the market. But technically and fundamentally, we are heading to a global downturn that has to happen. And on the back of that, you should expect a lot of your investment vehicles to get hit. So cash is king at the moment, and cash equivalent. Yeah, it's a bit of precious metals could work around the scope. I mean, it's clear now that you can't even put your your portfolio or adjust your portfolio to the digital currencies or the crypto assets, and as it's clear right now that they are also highly dependent on the liquidity in the market space. So yeah, it's just cash and cash equivalent rotos.
All right, Uchenna Minnis, managing partner, Howard Minnis Asset Management. We thank you so much for joining us on the Arise Exchange. Appreciate your time.